Hi everybody, I have a jelly printing video for you. It is not anything specific, I just decided I wanted to play with my jelly plate and work on doing some layers, and I thought I'd hit record while I was doing it just in case something fabulous happened. So far I have added black Liquitex paint, and I'm using a Crafters Workshop stencil called Nope. It is called Link Tiles, and it's by Rebecca Meyer. So that's so pretty. Now I didn't want it to cover the whole jelly plate, so I'm taking a scrap piece of paper and removing part of the stencil, because here I'm going to add another stencil. So I'm going in with some more black Liquitex paint. And now I'm using the stencil called Infinite Lace. And this one is, it's a Crafters Workshop stencil as well. And it too is designed by Rebecca Meyer. So again, I'm just removing the paint that's in between the stencil. I was just checking to see if the paint was dry. Oh, and look at another clip of peeling the paint off the brayer. Some of you enjoyed it last time, so why not include it if it's going to happen, right? I didn't save the paint that I peeled off of this one. It wasn't very pretty. It's that greenish brown poopy color on the one side and black on the other, so I just tossed it. That strip came off really good. Can't believe I got it all off in 2 strips. Okay, so now that my paint is dry, I'm going to go in with some cadmium yellow. And I don't want to cover the whole plate with just one color. I want to do just little bits of different colors here and there. Just totally random, nothing planned. Now, depending on what colors you're using, you can wait for the, like I could have waited for the yellow to dry before adding the next color. But I was going in with red, and if the red and yellow mixed and made orange, I was totally okay with it. So I just went in with my next color. And where I'm only doing spots and I'm not trying to go over it necessarily, I didn't worry about it too much. As you know, I don't go for perfect prints when I'm jelly printing. Now I'm going in with some teal. And all these colors that I'm using now, except for the black, these are all now golden paints, fluid acrylics. And I already forget if I told you what color this is already or not. So just in case I didn't tell you, this is teal. And now this is quinacridone magenta. Teal and the magenta, I think, are two of my most used colors in the golden paints. Actually in Liquitex as well. I use those two a lot. And I use yellow a fair amount as well. So now I am waiting for the paint to dry. And I want it completely dry. So I'm adding a top coat of unbleached titanium, and this is to pull the print. And I've actually been having a little bit of a hard time pulling my prints lately when doing this layer technique. So I don't know if I'm waiting too long for my paint to dry, or if it's the amount of paint that I'm using, or maybe my jelly plate needs to be cleaned and conditioned. I really don't know, but I was having some problems last night. And this did not turn out like I had wanted it to. It's alright, I guess. I mean, there's parts of it I like. But it's not what was in my head. And I'm going in with some more black Liquitex paint. And I'm going to use the same stencil again, which is a Crafters Workshop stencil called Link Tiles by Rebecca Meyer. I do love that stencil for jelly printing. And again, I'm just taking off the paint that I don't want in my print. And this time I decided to leave the stencil on. I'm going in with some teal golden paint. And some cadmium yellow. And some quinacridone magenta. See, I told you my three most used colors. See, this was another one these times. It's not showing as well in the picture, but in person it was like I just wanted to save the jelly plate. Okay, again, I am putting on a layer of unbleached titanium to pull the print. And this one I actually really like. Like, it's not my most favorite print I've ever done, but I really like it. Okay, some cadmium yellow. I don't even remember what I'm doing in this one. And we have the teal again. You're going to be so used to me using these colors that I'm not even going to have to tell you what color, what the names of them are. You're just going to know them. And quinacridone magenta. Maybe I should challenge myself to use different colors. I guess I'm waiting for this to dry. I don't remember. Yep, I did. And now I'm putting down some white paint to pull the print. If I remember correctly, I do not like this one. Oh, actually, I don't think this one's too bad. Nice. I think it's good for like a beginning. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like, it would need more layers on top of it. Going in with some black. And this is another Crafters Workshop stencil called Stone Increase, and it's by Julie Faye Fanbalzer. And here I'm removing the paint that I don't want on the jelly plate. And then I'm pulling that print. And I printed on top of that last one that I said was a good base layer. I believe this might be that print there might be the one that I actually really ended up liking in the end. I think I do some more to it. See, it's almost like I'm watching this with you guys because I don't remember what I do sometimes. And that one I just add a little bit of green gold. There's some yellow. There's still a tiny bit of green gold on my brayer as well. Just using the plastic bag to remove some of the paint and to also add texture. Again, I'm just adding more paint to this Stone Increase background. This color is turquoise. It's another golden paint color. I actually like that print too. Yeah, this is the one that I really end up liking. So on that one, I think this is one I want to darken up the edges a bit and not leave it stark white. So I'm just adding some paint to my jelly plate just so I can pull some around the edges where the jelly plate didn't cover the entire piece of paper. And when I did that, I remember thinking, oh man, I think I wrecked it. But then I went in with some black. And again, when I did this, it was like part of it I liked, and then I got to another side and just the way that it brayered on, it was like, yeah, I may have wrecked it. I think it's right here. Yeah, see that bold line? That bugged me. But I keep going. I'm just adding black paint all around the border of the page. Now I'm going in with some quinacridone magenta. And again, this is going to be around the perimeter of the page. And I like the look of it, especially in the bottom left corner. Like, I love the darkness and grunginess of it. Here we have some teal paint. No, we don't. We have turquoise. Sorry about that. And the stencil is another Crafters Workshop stencil, and it's called Skylight. And again, it's by Rebecca Meyer. Actually, let me double check that one. Pretty sure it's Rebecca Meyer. Yes, it is. So what I did there, I added some embossing powder. And my thought was that the wet paint would make the embossing powder adhere to the paper, but it did not. My whole plan was by sprinkling the embossing powder on the wet paint, it was then going to, which I see now why it didn't, because the embossing powder is dry, and that is the surface that was touching the paper. So the paper needed some wetness to it in the beginning. So maybe, and maybe I'll try this again, if I did a layer of paint first and pulled that, and then while that paint was still wet, then did that layer with the paint and the embossing powder, then maybe it would have adhered to the page. I don't know if the technique is truly worth giving it another shot. Like, again, it's one of those things, if it worked out the way I wanted it to in my head, it would look fantastic. But, you know, it doesn't always work out the way we envisioned it. But what's on the jelly plate looks cool. So I thought if I had a gel medium, then maybe I'd be able to pull it. But it just smushed all around. So yeah, that didn't work either. So maybe before I post this video, I may do what's in my head. Oh, yeah, I have another idea in my head. I'm going to try it, and if it works, I will add it to this video. And if not, then, you know, the idea I had was a flop. It took a while to get all the embossing powder off of my plate and brayer too. But it does come off, so no worries. But all that texture you see there in the jelly plate up on the top, that is from the embossing powder. And basically I'm just adding layers of paint to try to remove it. Sorry for all the moving around. Can't get comfortable. I like the upper portion on that page. I don't know if I add more in Wreck-It or not. See, I like that one too. But then I add another layer on top, and it does this weird thing, which to me, it's like it blurred the image. Like there was an image there, and then adding this layer just made it look blurry. I don't know. It was weird. See? To me, that just looks blurry. So I have some quinacridone magenta and some red. And this is just me trying to get all those under layers on the jelly plate off. Maybe I'm going to add more to that one. Yeah, I let the paint dry on that one, and then I'm going to try to pull it. I like that. See, I was having a hard time getting it all to come up. See, I like the grunginess. So we're getting close to the end now. So like I said earlier, I have an idea in my head with the embossing powder. I'm going to give it a try on the jelly plate and see if it works. And if it does, I will add it to this video. And if not, then of course I won't bother. But I don't know. I kind of get the feeling it's not going to work. but I will give it a shot just in case it does and it turns out really cool and I can share it with you guys. So I want to thank you for watching as always, and for those, oh see, I like that one. And for those that subscribe, thank you so much. And then all the followers that I have that always leave such beautiful, sweet, amazing comments on my videos. Thank you. Oh, just so you know, right here, those are the prints with the embossing powder. The whole idea was that I'd be able to pull it and then heat it and the embossing powders would melt, but it didn't work. So, but I mean, the little sections, there's some parts that are kind of cool. So maybe I'll get cut up and used. If nothing else, it added texture. So, like I was saying, thanks so much for watching. Love all your comments, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye.